All right, I am ready to go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mother's Intuition. My name is Amanda Baker. Sorry if I keep glancing down. I am truly a mother of two beautiful girls. One is 2 years old and she's taking a nap, and the other is 3 months and technically she's napping, but she's right next to me in her swing, so we'll see how long that lasts. She is more of a cat napper. So I am really excited to be here with you. I'm going to give a little more information about myself. You'll see the name of our channel is Gluten Free. I say our because this channel is actually going to be for my husband and myself. We actually attempted our first video this past week, but we forgot the mute button was on. So we take this 40-minute video kind of introducing ourselves and our goals and everything, and it was muted. So we're going to do is we, as a family, my husband and myself, we're going to do a video together as a married couple once a week. And then we're each going to do our own video segments on the side. So my particular segment is called Mother's Intuition. And I probably won't stick with Saturdays as my day of publishing in the future, but we'll just see what works because like I said, I am a mom. So we just have to make it work around our busy schedule, and we'll see how it goes. But I want to give myself an introduction. My name's Amanda Baker. And I, as you can see from the title, am a stay-at-home mom. I have, like I said earlier, two beautiful daughters, and we'll see what the Lord blesses us with in the future. We are open to many. So we are residents of the greater Grand Rapids area in Michigan. And so as you can probably tell from my dress, it is quite cold outside. We had a lot of snow today. And yeah, I feel totally blessed and very excited to do this. So starting a YouTube channel has been on kind of my little bucket list for the last few months. My husband and I actually kind of took a stab at a blog a while back, and we liked it, but just writing, I mean, I love writing, but just finding the time to be able to sit down and process words and make it a really good piece, I wasn't feeling the empowerment for that. But I really wanted to get on YouTube and start expressing my knowledge and thoughts and stuff that way. So my husband and I are going to publish a video about both of us tomorrow, but I will give you a little snippet about myself before I get into my topic I want to focus on today. So I'm a stay-at-home mom. I used to be a teacher, specifically elementary school and middle school, and I really loved teaching. I truly did. But when my husband and I found out we were expecting my first, my husband had told me that he wanted me to be a stay-at-home mom. And the first time he told me that, I laughed it off. And how ridiculous is that? I spent all this money and time at college, invested in a degree of education, and I'd been spending most of my life so far dedicated to my career. Why am I giving up everything that I worked so hard for to stay at home and fold laundry and do dishes? So I thought it was really funny until I got pregnant. Once I got pregnant, I was so happy. We had been trying for a while, and exactly a year, we'd been trying, and we found out we were pregnant. And so I was very excited, but it was those, if any of you out there are teachers, you know what I'm talking about when I say those late nights at school, answering emails, grading papers, setting up for the next day, and then coming home and doing more of the same for hours and hours on end. It kind of just made me think, as I'm feeling this baby, get bigger and bigger and move around inside of me. And I'm like, what am I going to do next year when I have a baby? How is this even going to work? So I was faced with the decision of what to do. And originally I kind of wanted to do part-time teaching, but unfortunately there's not a lot of schools out there that support that. So I wasn't able to be a part-time teacher. So instead I stayed at home, which has been the best decision I could have ever asked for in my life. Being a mom and being a stay-at-home mom specifically. And in my title, quote, stay-at-home mom, because I don't really see it as stay-at-home. My daughters and I rarely are homebound. We are constantly out and about. So I'll talk more about that in just a moment. But yes, my channel, Mother's Intuition, my little segment I'm going to be doing once a week, I really want to focus on everything relating to a mom. So I'm not just going to do, mom topics and things like that. I will talk about things, politics, religion, all that other fun, good stuff, just random commentary. But everything I'm going to talk about is really going to be focused on and related to motherhood and why I think it's important as a mom. My little baby's awake here, so I'm just going to grab her and she's going to join us. So yeah, everything I do is going to be focused on motherhood and why I think as a mom, it is important. Hi, little sweetie. This is Madeline. Like I said, she's 3 months old. She is a delight. And my other daughter's name is Lillian. She's napping. She's 2, so she usually takes a longer nap than this one. But yeah, everything I talk about and focus on this in these videos is really going to be related to motherhood and why I think it's important as a mom. My husband and I are Catholic. I am a quote-unquote cradle Catholic, as they call us, which means I grew up Catholic. But I really didn't get really into the Catholic faith and realized how important it was until much later in my life. Actually, probably not really. I probably didn't take it super seriously until my first was born, and we got her baptized, and my husband went through RCIA, which, if you're not familiar, is like the Catholic preparation course to become a Catholic. I started going to classes with him and really truly learned and understood at that point and then the importance of Catholicism and why I believe it is the religion that Jesus Christ, the faith he wanted us to aspire to and follow. So it's very important to our family and the decisions we make as a family. And so we'll talk a lot about that basically every day, or every one of my segments rather. I'll relate in some way to our faith and why it's important to us. So I am going to start us off with just a little prayer, very simple one. It's a Catholic prayer if you are not Catholic, but Mother Mary is very deep connected to my heart and where my mission for my video, for obvious reasons, being the mother of Christ, I think she's very important to look up to, whether or not you're Catholic. She is the mother of our Savior. So if anything else, you look at this wonderful, humble woman as someone who we can all aspire to be aligned with. So in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. His Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. All right. Today I'm talking specifically about being a stay-at-home mom. I already went through my reasons for stopping working in the education system is mostly because I didn't really think I had enough time to devote to being a mom, especially with all the extra stuff and especially in public schools. I taught in a public school, and with all the additional things needed for it to be a public educator, the testing and everything, it was way too much of a burden for me to bring on my daughter. So, I considered private school. I've considered teaching at a private school several times in my since I left, but it's still not enough time to devote to my daughters. The other big reason, and I started looking some up, but I don't have the exact numbers with me, is daycare costs. Michigan actually is one of the highest daycare costs in the country, which is crazy to me. I looked it up and it's about $1,000 every single month is what most parents pay for daycare costs. That's just for one child. So I can't even imagine, parents who have multiple children that are under the preschool age. I just cannot imagine what that must be like, and that cost it must be on the family. I know some of my friends have talked to me about the cost they pay for 2 kids in daycare, and it's just obscene. I mean, I would not feel comfortable getting a paycheck and paying that much for daycare for someone else to raise my child. And I'm going to say this a lot in my streams. What the advice and the thoughts and comments I have during my videos, please don't take these as this is the absolute 100% way to parent. And if you don't parent this way, you're a bad parent. No, it has nothing to do with it. Like I said, this is what's worked really well for me and for our family. And everyone has to make their own decisions based on what works best for their family. I understand that, some people might not have one income that can sustain their whole family. I understand that some people prioritize other things. They might really think family vacation is really important, or having, 2 cars that are really nice, or whatever your priorities are as a family. I understand that some people have to have more than one income. I get that. I understand there are moms who are single moms out there, or dads who are single dads, and they literally have to send their kids to daycare. If my whole point for this particular video is if you have the means to be able to stay at home with your children, at least one parent, I think it is the ultimate best decision you can make as a parent. Specifically motherhood, but I will get into that a little more later, more than a stay-at-home dad. But, once again, it has to be what works for your family. So, yes, stay-at-home mom has been a wonderful, wonderful blessing to us. Number one, yes, saves us money. So much money. We don't have to spend in daycare costs. And I know we'd still make a little money if I worked full-time, but to me, just the trade-off. Number one, I'm losing about half of my paycheck just to pay for daycare. Number two, I'm losing that time. That's another big reason why I would decide to be a stay-at-home mom. Just the idea of dropping my little tiny baby off every single day at someone's house or at a daycare facility where some other woman gets to cuddle my baby and make her laugh and, hear her first word or see her take her first step. I mean, that would be just heart-wrenching to me as a mom, personally. And I've seen that a couple times. I've done a little work here and there. This summer, I did a little day camp at our church. I was a teacher there, so I worked Monday through Friday, like a normal, almost school day, except it was, I think, just till noon. And I'd get home and I'd be so exhausted and I would be so tired from my whole day that I'm like, I don't even know how I would do this. I had no energy for my one child. I can't even imagine sending my child off to daycare all day and then coming back with two children and trying to entertain them. I just can't even imagine what that would be like. This might have to be a short video today, depending on her temperament. But I couldn't imagine giving up that time and devoting, that much energy to and especially as a teacher. That was my career as a teacher. I can't imagine devoting that much time and energy to someone else's children and then coming home and not having enough energy to be able to have fun and to teach my own children. So that was another thing. It's just the amount of time. And these are years you don't get back. And a lot of people have asked me, are you going to go back to education when your kids go in school? But we are actually really considering homeschooling, and I'll get into that in another episode about why homeschooling might be our decision as well. As you can guess, one reason is because I'm a teacher, so it just makes sense for me to be the teacher for our children. So money, time. Also, like, we have grandparents around. My mom works, I'd say, almost like a little more than part-time, and my husband's mom and stepmom both work. If we could, in a few years when they retire, yes, I could probably ask one of them to be the facilitator or the daycare for our children and go back to work. But once again, it's my husband and I talked about the fact that, do we want grandparents raising our children or do we want to raise our children ourselves? So that was another reason why we decided that I would stay home, is because I want to be the one making the big parental decisions. And if I'm not around my kids most of the time, someone else is going to be making those decisions for me. I'm also a nursing mom. I breastfeed both my babies so far. It's worked out great. And I really hate, if you're a mom out there, I really hate pumping. I really despise using a breast pump. So I know some moms do it and some moms rock it. But once again, it's just so much easier for me to be able to dedicate myself 100% to nursing my children when I can stay at home with them and do all that. And then just the quality of time and the things I can do with them. Now, so those are the reasons I stay at home with my kids. Just personally, my husband is wonderful. His income provides it. And I feel like I have just a more balanced home in general. I so respect those moms out there who have amazingly clean homes and, can do it all on their own, no housekeeper, and work full time and have kids. I don't know how you do it. You must just drink coffee nonstop. I'm not sure. But me personally, I feel like I can barely keep up with the cleaning and I stay home all day with my two little ones. So but I like that piece. I know if I worked full time, this house would be a disaster. It would just be a mess, except for on the weekends. And I don't want to dedicate my whole weekend to cleaning the house. I would like to be able to dedicate my days off, which is every day, but I would like to dedicate my free time, I should say, to doing fun things with my kids and not having to sweep and dust and do dishes and all that stuff. And I really like that my husband can have free time on his days off, that I don't have to say, okay, we both have our days off now, so we have to do clean the whole house and, send the kids to the grandparents. Well, we can do that. It's just nice that when he comes home, he can just be home. And yes, he has house tasks, but, I like that we can focus on bigger projects, I should say. rather than focusing on just doing dishes and sweeping and mopping. So I do like having the cleanliness of our home and being able to focus on that. And I don't mind the grocery shopping and things like that either. But so yeah, those are my reasons for staying at home. Now, some of the things I said about, being a stay-at-home mom, there are some moms I know who are stay-at-home moms, and they are very homebody people. They really just like sitting at home, with their kids every day, playing in their yard, playing with the games inside. The end. I am not one of those moms. I guess it's just part of me being a teacher and just being used to being out and about every day. I like being out and about. These last 2 weeks, we've been fighting illness in our house. My older daughter has had a cold and the flu bug, and then myself and my husband got the flu bug as well. So these last 2 weeks I've been going a little stir crazy. But in general, I don't like just sitting around at home. I'm definitely one of those moms that prefers to go out and do things. So one thing we did during Christmas time is, instead of asking for more toys, because we have plenty, we asked for some experience-based gifts. So I really asked for memberships to different things around our area. So we have a gardens. It has Sculpture Park and some beautiful gardens. It's called the Frederick Meyer Gardens, and they have concerts and stuff. But really, and especially in the springtime, it's wonderful to go because they have walking trails and fun things for kids to do. They can run around, play, and it's just a great thing for me to be able to pack a picnic and bring the girls. Children's Museum I got a membership for in the springtime. In the summertime, we like going to the zoo. And I also like getting these memberships as an adult plus, because then I can invite another mom friend with me and have an automatic play date. As moving forward ahead in life, as my daughter's getting older, next year she'll be 3. So I know we'll be doing preschool type stuff. And there's a lot of homeschooling groups around my area. So we'll be looking up those homeschooling groups and getting involved there so that we can get together with other kids. But, being a stay-at-home mom, I guess my point is that you don't have to be this locked in person. You're not by yourself, even if you don't live in your family. And we live all around our family. Everyone's so close to us, but you don't have to just hang out with family. There are plenty of ways, plenty of groups to connect to. If you're not sure how to get out and about, if you're a stay-at-home mom, please comment below and I'll be happy to give you some advice. But if you're someone who, let's say you just moved, I'll get into this more on my video next time, because I think this little one's getting a little squirmy. But when my husband and I get on in a couple tomorrow, we'll talk about our journey, and we used to live in another state. But some of the things I would recommend is getting out there and finding other groups of women. You can connect on Facebook. There are so many groups you can connect to. Go to your local library. I know our libraries around here have tons of baby time and toddler time. There are lots of great outsources like that, and you can meet moms that way. So I would highly recommend, if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're considering it, number one, do it if you can. But number two, don't worry about not finding adult time. There are plenty of ways to be connected to other moms and find different moms to connect to. I would say my biggest ones that I've connected to other moms with, number one is church. I found a lot of moms at our church with children similar age to mine, and we've done play dates and so many fun things together. And it's great because then the kids can just sit and play even at each other's houses, and you can sit and have a conversation and coffee with another mom. And then libraries, like I just said, that a lot of them have baby time and toddler time, which number one is great socialization. It's like, it's like a mini daycare. It's an hour-long program that the librarians run, and ours does like songs, stories, games. They do dancing and usually some sort of arts and craft project. It's great. I go to the YMCA. They have a kid zone, so my daughter can socialize there, and I can meet moms there as well, other moms who are in the kid zone. I usually see them in the classes I go to. So maybe you are a member of the Y or a different gym that have a kids area. That's a great way. Also, just looking up online. I know in the fall we have a little farm near us that does, apple picking and stuff like that, but they have a kids day, where the librarian comes in. Once again, tons of moms there. So, just looking around on Facebook for different events where they do baby time, toddler time, you can meet a lot of moms that are in similar situations to you, a lot of parents who stay at home. And it's just a great way to, number one, connect with someone on the same wavelength as you as a parent. And number two, be able to get your kids acclimated to other kids and, get some playtime and things like that. So those are ways I would really highly recommend of searching for other people who you can connect with so you don't go stir crazy. I mean, that's just my recommendation because I do go stir crazy if I have to stay at home constantly. So yeah, those are just my recommendations, specifically relating to being a stay-at-home mom. So I'm going to sign off because I'm pretty sure this little one's getting hungry. But it's been great. I'm so happy I could get on here today. I'm sorry it wasn't perfect, but it's not going to be. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. My channel is probably going to be a little hectic because I do have a baby and a toddler, and I'll try to get on once a week with my toddler sleeping, but the baby still needs mama, so she's not a good napper. So sometimes I might have her wrapped up and have to do my video standing up, which is fine too. But I did also want to say that a couple of things I'm going to really focus on in the next few episodes. I think my next episode specifically is going to be about homeschooling and why my family is considering doing homeschooling with our children for as long as I can. I think in a future video, I'll probably talk about why my pros and negatives, pros and cons. Maybe I'll include this in the homeschool episode, pros and cons of being a public school teacher and sending your children to public school versus what I've learned about private school, which isn't a ton. I have a little experience with private schools, not a ton. And then versus stay at home, being a homeschool parent. The other topics I'm really going to focus on, one, in the next coming weeks, February, I'll probably do one specifically on the pro-life movement. And I just want to do a quick shout out to the March for Life 2020. It was amazing. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, I highly recommend it. It was just an amazing event to watch. I can't wait to maybe attend one year. Maybe I won't have to. Hopefully it won't be necessary in the future, pro-life March for Life movement. But it was an amazing event. Very, very pro-life family. It's one of my biggest passions. Hopefully soon. I actually volunteer in my spare time. I tried to before she was born. I did it once a week at a at-risk pregnancy center, crisis pregnancy center for women in the area, in my local area, who just need additional assistance as moms. And it's just a fantastic way to support life and future families. So yeah, I loved the March for Life. Listening to the different speakers was very inspirational, and I highly recommend watching some of those if you get the chance. Yeah, some of the other stuff I'll focus on, really kid-related stuff. I wrote down a bunch of ideas. I'll probably talk about, more breastfeeding stuff, making your own baby food, behavior management tips. Yeah, and once again, these are things that have worked for me. They might not work for you, and that's fine. I'm not here to judge or anything. That's every parent has to do what works best for them. But I'm hoping my main mission for running this video is to really inspire other parents, specifically moms out there, on your journey of motherhood. If you're brand new, hopefully you can get some knowledge from this video and try stuff out, see if it works for you, see if it doesn't. If it doesn't, then, you can look at someone else's video or look up other resources. And, I'll talk about books that I've read and things like that, things I've learned as an educator and why I believe it's important. Another one I really want to focus on in the next couple of weeks is the media, and especially TV, movies, and what I found and learned as a mom, and as just an adult, and what my opinions are of that. I can just give you a little hint that it's not looking good. I used to watch TV a lot when I was younger, and I am not so enthralled with what's being produced anymore. So we'll get into that more in another episode. But like I said, my husband and I are hoping to get on tomorrow and just talk about our journey, and specifically what we hope to accomplish as a couple on YouTube. But it's been great getting on here today, and I really hope to see you soon. Oops, we got some spit up action going on here. That's great. Perfect time to sign off, I think. I'll get this spit up. Okay. So yes, I really hope to hear from you guys soon. Feel free to leave some comments and let me know what kinds of things you hope to hear from, and thoughts, positive or negative, are appreciated. Just some commentary. This is my first YouTube video, so it's not perfect, but hopefully you got something out of it, and I hope that you all have a blessed day, and see you soon, and keep smiling. Bye-bye.